Hello, everyone, and I'm Christina Giordano, the founder of Sold, your go-to resource for soulful entrepreneurship. And my philosophy is this: people can no longer be sold to, they must be sold to. This is selling with soul. This is marketing with integrity, where you no longer need to compromise your authenticity, your boundaries, your uniqueness, your wholeness. This is messaging in a way that actually reflects the transformation you provide because it's your story, your transformation, and nobody can compete with that. This is monetizing yourself in a way that honors your fullness, all of the pieces and parts of you that are meant to be divinely resourced. Join me every Wednesday to learn all of this and more. Let's jump right in. The topic for today is alchemizing the energetics of your marketing endeavors. And today I want to talk about alchemy as it relates to how we market ourselves. Now, first, I want to say that if you had told me 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, or even 2 years ago that I would be talking about alchemy in the marketing arena, I would have never believed you. But this is where we are. This is where we are as a collective, both energetically and consciously. And for the people who are drawn to my work and to me and what I do, they love the notion of alchemy, the intention behind it, the process of it, the unfolding of it, the nature of it, all of it. And I want to start by first defining alchemy. Google will tell you that it's a medieval philosophy and early form of chemistry whose aims were the transmutation of base metals into gold, the discovery of a cure for all diseases, and the preparation of a potion that gives eternal youth. It's also synonymous with wizardry, witchcraft, sorcery, and magic. Now, when I think of alchemy, I think of an internal transformation that manifests into an external transformation. To me, it's the moment of magic. Now, when else have I talked about this moment of magic? I'll tell you, in the actual transformation you provide. We've been taught by the old paradigm of marketing to water down what we do and put it in a box with a pretty bow so that it can be consumed in the easiest possible way. However, in my opinion, we don't need to water ourselves down in order to be palatable. This is because people are capable. And now this is important because the old paradigm of marketing will have you believing that you need something, that you are incapable of understanding something, doing something, fixing something, healing something, or creating something on your own. We as a collective have been made to believe that we are incapable. I call bullshit. I see this in my own industry when business owners feel incapable of figuring out what to say about their businesses. And so they hire an expert to do it for them. However, little do they know, they need to be an active contributor to that process in order for the message to land and also in order for it to last. I'll say it again. In order for your message to land, it has to be something that is real, relatable, and rooted within you. And in order for your message to last, again, it has to be something that is real, relatable, and rooted within you. Now, when people work with me, they're the ones deciding for themselves what to say about what they do. I simply help them put it into a clear, succinct, and eloquent delivery. That's my role. And most of the time, when I'm working with people, I'm intuiting as they're talking. So they're telling me, we're moving through the methods together, and what's coming up within them is kind of the story that's being created in my mind. So this is a lot of my own gift that I bring to the table is the way that I can intuit the most eloquent and effective and exciting delivery of what they do. So we connect the dots together, but it's their path that we're walking down, not mine, not someone else's, theirs. And the methods that I use in all of my containers are roadmaps back to yourself, back to your heart, back to the truth of what you do and why it matters so much to you. The message and the strategy always starts with you. Now, why is this different from typical marketing consulting? Because I am never, ever, ever going to tell someone, you post this amount per week on these social channels and you do it this way. And you schedule time for this, and this is what you're supposed to talk about. And this is what you say. And this is how you say it. I will never say that to anybody. One, because they're not going to do it. you're not going to stick to something that you're not aligned to. And second of all, unless it comes from within you, unless we're putting the pieces and the parts together, co-creating a strategy, you're not going to get excited about it. And you only can get excited about it if it's really coming from within. So all of my methods kind of help you get to the heart of what you do. It's very much a journey in self-discovery, which of course entrepreneurship is just by its own nature. But the process of working with me is, to varying degrees, a journey of self-discovery. And I'm with you every step of the way, helping you gain more clarity in what you're saying, helping you gain more conviction in what you're saying, and helping you ensure that you are bringing forward the highest level of consciousness that you possibly can, because that's the thing that creates that magnetic effect. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. But going back to what we were talking about, when we shift our focus towards believing that our audience is capable of understanding the truth of what we do, of what we bring to the table, of how we can help them, when we trust them to know for themselves that they have the capacity to decide what is aligned for them and what is not, then we don't obsess over making something make sense. It gets to be easy now. It gets to be fun now. That's the alchemy of this type of marketing. When you get to the truth of what you do, it can be simple. Now, speaking of magnetism, it's in our authenticity that produces the magnetism that marketing requires now, particularly this type of marketing. When you're marketing with your soul, we have to be so rooted in what is authentic to us that our authenticity is quite literally the alchemy itself. And think about that for a moment. I've talked about embodied entrepreneurship so many times, but this is really the truth of it. You being the walking transformation, the walking representation of your work is the actual practice of my own marketing mantra. It's on my website everywhere and everywhere that you can find me. Show up, be seen, and shine. That is embodied entrepreneurship. Now let's drill down into the alchemy of the transformation you provide, the moment of magic. And this is something I've talked about many times, but now I'm going to put it in the frame of reference of alchemy, since that's the topic of today. When you get to the heart of what you do, when you talk about the moment of magic where you and the client are completely in flow and you see alchemy happening right before your eyes, you're defining the actual moment, the actual transformation you provide. It's the internal transformation that's happening that manifests into an external one. So in that moment, you're defining the alchemy that happens when someone works with you. That's the actual transformation you provide. It's what happens within a session, a program, an event, a membership, a package, whatever form it takes. Something happens within the person you're working with that allows for an external transformation to take form. And this is what my methods, particularly the life method, help you achieve for yourself in the marketing of your business. We define the actual transformation you provide by getting to the heart of what you do so that you can talk about it in a way that shows people what's possible for them. And as a side note, if you want to experience the life method for yourself and completely for free, sign up for one of my life method lives. It's a completely free workshop. You could either, well, no, you got two options. So let me start with the first. The first option is to go to my website to the Get Guidance page and download the 10-minute audio version of the life method. This 10-minute audio version can really transform your marketing, again, in 10 minutes. But it gives you a glimpse of what the life method is and how you can apply it, of course, within your own time. But within 10 minutes, you can really you can make some impact on your messaging. And that one is completely free as well. But the Life Method Live is a 60-minute workshop with me. So you've got me in the room, and it gives you a taste of what it's like to work with me. So again, both of those offerings are on my Get Guidance page. They're on the same page from that page called the Life Method. And why do we talk about the life method? Why do we talk about marketing this way? Why do we do this? It's because we don't practice fear-based marketing around here. We don't BS our audiences. We are possibility-based. We stand in our truth. We are representations of the actual transformation you provide. Okay. So now that we understand what alchemy is and why talking about it and talking about what we do as alchemists is important, let's talk about how we alchemize other elements of our marketing and our businesses particularly in how we show up, be seen, and shine. Because as you know, I'm a big fan of saying skills transfer. Once you know how to do this, you can do it in any area of your life, not just business. So for me, right now, one of the questions that I'm constantly asking myself is how do I transmute, meaning change in form, the energy of a situation, dynamic, relationship, space, mindset, thought processes, etc. So literally anything. How can I change in form anything? Now, what's required in order to do this type of work? You have to have a solid comprehension and containment of your own energy field, plus the belief that you can transmute just about anything. Plus, and this one's a big one, the self-awareness in order to sense what needs to be transformed. You have to sense it and know that it requires a transformation because it's heavy, because it's dense, because it's taking you off course. So you got to know yourself. This is the business of turning darkness into light. We're taking the heaviness of something and making it lighter. We're transforming something that is dense and raising its vibration. This is, like the old definition says on Google, turning lead into gold. This is alchemy in the everyday, practical magic. So let's break it down through a few examples into how we can show up, be seen, and shine in our approach to marketing. Now, many of my clients have a trepidation about what happens as a result of speaking their truth. They're afraid to put themselves out there. They're worried about a backlash. They don't want to be misunderstood. One way that you can look at it is that, and it's pretty cut and dry, I'm not going to lie, is that being misunderstood is simply the occupational hazard of living and working in a society. It just is what it is. But that can be a big pill for the empaths and the sensitive folks of the world to swallow. I mean, it was for me. Now, the great thing about these people, the empaths and the highly sensitive ones, is that they have an innate ability to know how to alchemize. They just might need a bit of practice. Because let's face it, we can't all be magicians the first time around. So let's give an example here. Let's say you post something on social media and get a bit of criticism in the comments. First, I want you to get excited because putting yourself out there and getting feedback, regardless of whether it's positive or negative, means you're in the arena. It also means you're receiving some form of energy, which is great. People are giving you energy. So remember this, it's all energy. You get to decide how you take it in. Okay. Second, if it's perceived as a negative comment and it's hitting something within you or making you feel a certain way, just lean into letting it slide off of you. What if it didn't stick? Because what you're going to do right now, as you're leaning into that concept, you're remembering that the person commenting is commenting based on their own lived experiences, not yours. And if it's truly a troll, just let them troll on through their life and pray for their healing. That's really all you can do with those kinds of people. Frankly, that shouldn't matter to you anyway, because why would you want someone like that in your atmosphere? Anyway, third, this is where the alchemy takes over. This is where we get to stand in our power and decide how we are going to take the perception of negativity and make it a positive one. One way you can do this is to simply decide for yourself that all of the energy directed towards you is simply adding to your power. It is elevating you. It is propping you up no matter what, because you can't be brought down by energy that is outside of you. That's called giving your power away. You want to stay in your power, neutralize the negativity of it, and let it build you up. So how do you do this in a practical sense? You might be saying to yourself, okay, interesting comment. This person might not get what I'm saying, and that's okay. I accept that. I appreciate the energy and use it for my highest good. Thank you. Or you might say to yourself with a more introspective approach, this is making me feel a certain way. What is it that it's tapping on within me? What is it making me think that I am lacking? Is that the ultimate truth of me? And of course, your answer is going to be no. I am pure love, and so is this person. I can accept that. So I'm sending positive energy their way and bringing it right back to me. Now, if you work with guides and angels or anything like that, you can absolutely call upon them to assist you in the transmutation process. I do that as well. There's one practice that I enjoy doing, which is creating a sacred cube, I think it's called. I don't know if there's actually a reference or a term for it, but I'm basically calling on Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, um, Archangel Metatron, and Archangel Xenophon, and they kind of form like a sacred cube around me. And they just infuse me with their light, and they kind of help remove any stagnant energy. So basically, when I'm envisioning this, I'm envisioning them and their light radiating towards me and eventually within me. And then what I'm also doing simultaneously is I'm seeing like sometimes it's like dark specks or dark fog exiting my body simultaneously. So it's like they're clearing it away and it's leaving my body. So another thing that I like to do too is kind of assist in the process of like quite literally picturing where the let's call it dust where it is, and then like pulling it with my hands and or my fingers, pulling it out of me, out of those spaces. I do this during breath work too. It can really help there, and it's amazing how the energy changes when you see when you can actually visualize it leaving your body or visualize yourself pulling it out and quite literally pulling out the energy from your body that is no longer meant to serve you or that you don't need to hold. And then, of course, what I do too is I channel grace. So everybody has the capacity to do this. This is not like a special technique or anything. To channel grace, you simply just envision source, God, universe, whatever you believe in, just like filling you up with white light. Sometimes it looks golden in my eyes. Um, and sometimes it's not light. Sometimes it's like sparkles, sparkly dust. um, and so it like just kind of flows through my body, and then like I can feel grace. So like if you know what grace feels like, it's love, but there's like a lightness to it. There's like an ease to it. There's like a I mean, it's grace. It's there's like a forgiveness to it. There's like an element to it that's um a little more specific than just like the feeling of love or joy or anything like that. So that's how I kind of channel grace when I'm in this process of letting something leave my body. Another thing too, and one thing that I've learned myself with alchemy is that love itself is the highest power you can work with. And you have to really, this is true for me at least, you have to really love something to release it. And no, I'm not telling you to bypass anything or make something toxic love. This is for like high level players of the game who understand that love is synonymous with acceptance and that secure attachment means no attachment, meaning your ego is no longer running the show. You let things go, you release like no other, you let things and people just be. This is what happens when you let alchemy and love and your soul take over. You're devoted to a greater vision and unbothered by a comment on social media. That means nothing about you and everything about the person saying it. This is really about honoring and respecting your divinity, the divinity of those around you, and the divine itself. So I hope you enjoyed that little episode on alchemy. I know that I did. I can't believe that I'm talking about alchemy as it relates to marketing, but here we are. And I suppose that this is part of my path because it is definitely part of the work that I do. So until next time, be well and take care.